Gbolahan, it's good to have you back. What will you say is the DICE program in Nigeria, and how does this 100 billion euro injection from the government of France fit into Nigeria's objective and goals, especially the renewed hope agenda?
Yeah, the DICE program emerged after the COVID-19 disaster, ravaged the entire world. And the focus is to be able to, the focus is the ICT, information technology, and the creative industry. These are believed to be sectors where the country can ramp up significant value and capacity and could help to create entrepreneurs and employers as well as employment within the economy. Of course, the entire world is changing from the way we used to know it, and technology has become the critical driver of everything we do. So investing in technology and being deliberate about it, as the DICE program is one way to ensure that we're not caught napping as the world moved significantly into the technology, even the AI age that we're currently working into.
Interesting. Gbolahan, what economic and business implications might this landmark agreement have for Nigeria and France, and how does it reflect on the broader economic relationship between these two countries?
Okay, as conceived, this program is meant to generate about 850,000 direct and indirect jobs. So that is huge for an economy like ours that has suffered tremendous death of employment. It also promises to skill up 77,000 young men and women. When you skill them up and they go into entrepreneurship or they are able to get employable, then it's another additional creation of economic activity and benefit within the country. So, of course, there are funding partners here and there. You have the African Development Bank. It's a good thing that France is also pitching in, because part of what this program will be requiring is also financing. We want to be able to finance under that program high impact technology initiative, technology startups, creative industry startups. Now, when you talk about startups, it's a very difficult space for conventional financing. You're not going to get a bank that will put down its money to want to finance startup because the risk is too high. So because this segment cannot naturally attract conventional financing, it needs development finance and the kind of financing that France is putting on the table. Those are the kind of financing that will be made available to this segment as startups, both in ICT as well as in the creative industry. It will also go ahead to finance venture capitals and private equity. These are another segment where the people there understand startups. It's not everybody that understands startups, which is why the conventional fund sources will not even bother to touch them. But venture capital can touch them. So part of what will happen in the financing space is that these funds that are being raised will also be put with institutions like venture capital who understand that space and will be able to analyze specific initiatives and make funding available to qualifying entrepreneurs.
Okay, Olojede, from a business perspective, how can this funding agreement impact the private sector in Nigeria and potential opportunities for French businesses interested in investing in the country?
It is entirely more focused on the private sector anyway, so it will definitely impact the private sector. When you look at the chart of the most valuable companies in the world, maybe you take like the top 10, you'll be amazed at the number of technology-driven organizations that occupy that are in that number 1 to 10. So there is no doubt that value creation is being done tremendously in that space. So for us as Nigeria, this program will help to pull up startups in that space with the belief that if we pull them up, look, the way that sector actually works is that you might have a pool of 100 possibilities, and at the end of the day, you might have only 10 winners out of the 100 possibilities. Out of the 10 winners, maybe about 5 of them will become very big. Well, even if it is one single one that becomes big, you can imagine the impact of an organization like an Apple, like a Google, like an Amazon, like, even if it is one, that one will be phenomenal. That is the reality right there. But from what we have seen, Nigeria has a robust base on which it can build a lot of technology-driven initiative and incubate them and make them thrive and become successful. There are a number of them that are currently in Nigeria, and we hope to be able, via this program, to get more of them into a successful businesses that can help to create opportunities, provide jobs, and grow the economy at large.
Well, when we talk about SWOT analysis, you guys in the business world know we have opportunities and threats. As far as you're concerned, what are the potential challenges and risks, associated with implementing this IDICE program with the various funding coming in, including that from France? And how can these challenges or risks be addressed to ensure the success of the program?
Yeah, the number one challenge is that the space of startup is a very slippery terrain. A lot of startups do not survive beyond a certain number of years. So many of them might not make it to those high impact technology level or creative companies that we're talking about. So that's a major challenge. But then there are support programs to ensure that we can get more successful ones out of the pool. When you have the investors, it's AFDB, I know BOI is also part of this program. The venture capitals, capital companies, the private equity companies, they help to support these organizations with necessary skills and governance that help them to increase the chances of success. So that is how to mitigate the problem or the fact that a lot of startups don't survive beyond a number of years. The other part is that the people that are bringing this financing on the table are conscious of what they are walking into. Of course, which is why you're not going to get regular financing sources going into that space. So regular financing is not available. That is a major challenge, but that is being mitigated by specialized financing from development organizations and the kind of fund that France is also putting on the table. That mitigates the problem of funding. What are some of the other challenges? Well, for everything that you throw money at, that comes with challenges. So the criteria for selecting the qualified businesses has to be thorough and transparent, so that we don't have a situation in which a percentage of this money go into the wrong hands, like we have seen in some of the schemes in the past. So there are monitoring agencies as part of the program. These monitoring firms that go out there to ensure that the transparency is adhered to. They can follow up on the beneficiary businesses and individuals to guarantee more success from the program.
Gbolahan Olojede, Development Analyst, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.